Hello, everyone. I'm Christopher Howard, Web Optimization Manager at Beekeeper, and your host for AI and the Black Marketer, Navigating the Future of Your Career. Over the next hour, we'll demystify what practical AI looks like for marketers, talk honestly about biases and ethics, and leave you with a clear 30-day upskilling plan. I'm joined by our guest host, Jai Allen, founder of Endless 8 Marketing Agency. Jai, you want to introduce yourself and let everyone know who you are? Can't hear you. Having a little technical difficulty, but we'll jump right in a sec. Nope, still can't hear you. Give us 1 second. We'll get things started. So during this, while she's getting everything prepared, we're going to talk more about AI and how you can actually take tangible results using AI for people of color or Black marketers, future-proofing your career, going beyond the buzzword, the entrepreneurial edge. There we go. There you go.
That's good.
Welcome back.
Yeah. We're connected. We're
So
connected.
yeah, just want you to introduce yourself to everyone. Um,
Definitely. Well, let's make sure you can still hear me.
yes, I can still hear you.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, no, my name is John Allen, founder of Endless Aid. We're a training and development company where we help organizations integrate AI into their workflows and systems.
Thank you for joining us. Today's going to be a candid conversation. We'll answer a couple questions. We can go back and forth about the tools that you use, how you use them, how you help your clients or your group with the work that you do day to day. So the first question, when we talk about AI in marketing, content generation, data analysis, automation, etc., where have you seen it deliver the most significant tangible results for a marketer of color or a brand targeting the Black community? And are there any specific workflows or tools that you use that help your team change the game?
Definitely. That's a loaded question. Let's take it one by one. It's like three questions in one. Let's start with the one that I can remember. Asking me how can marketing help the Black community, right? That was one of them.
Yeah, that's the first question. Yeah.
Oh, AI helping the Black community. What's my favorite tool? What's the best tool? What was the question again?
So basically, what tools do you use to help your clients out, and what workflows have you seen or that you use with those tools?
Okay, I like to keep things really simple.
Okay.
So my favorite tools are the lo and behold, the best one out there, the one that everybody knows when you say AI, which is going to be ChatGPT.
Mhm.
That's my favorite tool. That's the one I go to the most. Microsoft Copilot is a hard second, only because most organizations are Microsoft team organizations, so Copilot integrates great. And then for a hard third, if we got to add somebody in there, we're going to put Google Gemini. Some people might put Claude in between that mix some type of way because they just feel like it's better at coding, it's better at picture generation and all these type of things. So personally, I stick to the tools that everybody knows, which is going to be ChatGPT and then Microsoft Copilot.
Yeah, I've used all of those. My dark horse is Perplexity. I'm actually using the browser right now, and I'm finding myself drifting away from the others. And I also use Cursor. I'm a web developer, so it helps out in that aspect. With those tools, is there a specific workflow or way of use that you have that you would like to share with the audience? ChatGPT is just announced agents, and it's kind of new out there. But have you dabbled with it? Tried them in any way possible?
Definitely. I think agents are important. I think they're for most people they think they need them. It sounds good. It's shiny. It's a really good buzzword. But I think they're ahead of their time for most organizations, most people, and most businesses. But it is something that you can play with. So an agent is pretty much it's able to do the tasks that you need to do autonomously. So instead of something like ChatGPT, Perplexity, Copilot, where you basically ask a question and it provides information back to you. Agent will be able to, you can tell the agent what you want to do, and ideally the agent will be able to go and do the task for you. So I think it's great. But when we talk about workflows, to be honest, it's no like specific workflow that I use AI for. I use AI for almost anything that it can be used for. I was on a webinar recently, and the easiest way or the best way you create any workflow is put a sticky note on your computer, your phone, whatever, and say, how can I use AI? So anytime that you're going to do something before you actually do the task, think about, can I use AI? Can AI be infused in this? Where can I use AI? Because I think it'll be different for everybody. So I can tell you different ways and different workflows that I'm using, but it'll be based on my personal life and my business. But as just a good use case for anybody, before you start any task, try to think about, well, what is a way that AI can either be used in this, or allow yourself to think about all the possibilities where AI can potentially fit in.
Love that. Love that. So I have to ask the question: has AI replaced Google searching for you? Do you let AI
No,
work? No. Okay.
it depends, but that's an interesting one. It hasn't replaced Google search only because of my personal OCDness to a certain extent. So
Mhm.
I use, like, again, my Chat GPT, but I don't like to use it for what I look at as minute tasks. Like earlier, I was asking it. The last thing I asked Google was something very recent. I go to Google a lot. So like this morning, I asked Google. The last thing was, oh, just an hour ago, I was asking about the AirPods live translation. So, AirPods now, when you're talking to somebody, you can do live translation, basically, if they speak in a different language. Just an hour ago, I was at the Regional Hispanic Contractors Association event. They were speaking Spanish. And I'm like, man, let me see how much some AirPods are because I want to buy them. And somebody could go to, like, AI and ask it. But for me, Google, I just like, it's just faster, and I don't like to like hold up all my threads just for that. To me, that's simple. It's like just
Mhm.
So that's the own personal thing. So no, it hasn't replaced it, but I can see how it can replace it for some people, depending on just how they like to work.
Yeah. Gotcha. Gotcha. So we're going to shift it a little bit. So algorithmic bias, critical concern, especially in personalization and image generation. What are some guardrails that are essential that marketers can implement today to ensure that AI-driven campaigns are not excluding or reinforcing negative stereotypes in the Black community? As we've seen, this happened, I think, last year when they had the AI rapper that came out for like 2 days, and then there was a huge uproar, or different agencies using AI-generated Black models. So, what can we do to prevent that from happening, or guardrails to put in place so that when we are marketing, that we're not contributing to those stereotypes that are out there? It's a loaded question. It's a super loaded question.
It's an easy one, but I'm afraid people might not like my answer. What can you do? I mean, oh man, good luck doing anything.
Mhm.
Like, I'm gonna be very honest. If I have to be very honest, and I'm learning how to be honest and be okay if people don't accept it. But hey, good luck. Good luck trying to do anything with putting guardrails up. I think we can try, we can say, we can boycott and say we don't want to do this, we don't want to do that. But to be honest, what can you do? These are huge tech companies. Billions of dollars is being put into this industry. So it's only so much that you're going to be able to do. And I think at the same token, people don't stand on business. Today you saying this, but then tomorrow it might be a whole different, you know what I'm saying, conversation. So it's like guardrails. What guardrails? We don't even have real even laws around some states. You know, like it was just popular. The governor of California just put in where you can't use AI for actors. Like you basically can't duplicate an actor that's already on set and use AI. Okay, that's cool. So they got guardrails and stuff like that. But I mean, at the token of it, when it just comes to the Black community, like you could try, but I don't think it's really nothing nobody can really do. I don't think it's going to be a Black or a white thing to a certain extent. I think it's going to be people want Black people ain't the only one that want guardrails up. Everybody want guardrails up, no matter what the nationality is, for their own personal reasons. So for us to say what guardrails can we put up because of the Black community and to do this, I think we're gonna have I think it's gonna be a battle that. Good luck. It's just one of those things. What I will say though, and what I don't like is like Sora. I got Sora 2 that just came out. You know, Sora is ChatGPT's version of creating video. So it's just like ChatGPT, except when you're putting a prompt in, you're basically prompting it to create you a video version or whatever text you're putting in. That thing cannot get me right for nothing. I did the whole Cameo. Cameo is when you record yourself and basically you're giving ChatGPT access to your likeness to say, hey, recreate me. I've done that. It still can't create me. And I was going to put up a Facebook post because I feel comfortable in my Facebook era because I see this other person like doing a lot of good videos and it kind of looks like him, but he's still off. But I'm going to be very like straight up with you right quick. I've never seen nobody Black in the LGBT community come out with a little AI generated figure and it looked like them. I haven't even really seen nobody Black in the LGBT community try to do it, but I'm wondering like, is that why it can't create me because it doesn't know how? So, you know what I'm saying? But that's not a guardrail. Like, I can't really do nothing about it. But that's something I noticed lately where I'm like, yo, it can't create me. You know, like, what's up with that? So, but I haven't said nothing. I was going to say something on Facebook because that's my relaxed profile. That's my, like, you know, I can keep it light on there. But I didn't want to say nothing on LinkedIn. But, oh, yeah, that's my bad. You can sit right there, though. Okay, yeah, but it's like it can't create me, and I'm like, damn. I wonder why, and I just haven't had time to really sit down and try to do that. But yeah, and I think it probably is biased, but I don't know if bias will be the right word. I think it just can't do it. Maybe can they train it to be able to do it? Possibly, but to be honest, the Black person or just people like myself. They exist, but they don't really exist as much as other nationalities. Like, no offense, I'm in an open environment. They cool though, probably. But it's like I can easily create somebody that might be a lighter or, you know, a complexion that's maybe Caucasian with blonde hair, blue eyes. Okay, I could create that. But to create a Black woman with locks that's masculine presenting is very different and difficult. So it's like, so is it biased? I wouldn't say it's biased. I think it's just happening all the way. I think it just doesn't, it don't know. Like we too different. It don't know how to put that type of sauce together. It's like,
I don't think it has the data or the models haven't been presented to actually do it. So they've called the internet to actually pull like information to build those models. But as far as our complexions, like you said, the differences between us, they don't have those. But
it can create lighter people though, because I've seen this. I got like this guy on my Facebook, and even this lady, she's become pretty popular in AI. Where I see her do her stuff, but to be honest, it look kind of different. Where I can tell personally, but I can see how other people she can put out there, but they're lighter skin too. So I peeped that too. I'm like, I want to see somebody dark skin do it. You know what I'm saying? I was been peeping that. So just little stuff that I noticed, but. Is it biased or does it just don't know how to do it? Are they really putting effort to wanting to learn how to do it? I don't know. You know,
I would probably say it's a combination of it all. It's still newer. As we remember, like last year, I think sometime Will Smith with the spaghetti hands, or he was trying to hold spaghetti, and how far it's come since then. So it's still going to progress. So as far as those platforms that you use, so like Sora, are there any guardrails that you put in place when generating, or is it just you're just trying it out as a new tool in your arsenal?
I'm one of those people that just go all in. People put guardrails up, but I mean, people always say they don't trust, all these different, ChatGPT, all these tools. I get it, but I can find your stuff probably on the internet, man. Or you probably took a picture with your license plate all out. I can if I really want to know you, I can find you. So me giving my information to these tools is like, I don't really put a lot of guardrails into what I don't want them to know or have on me, because I feel like it's already out there. That information is already there. But I can see how some people will put guardrails up, or I even know like people with kids. I remember actually it was on the African American Marketing Association, the summit. I was on a panel, and one of the ladies, I forgot her name, said something good. She had a kid, and she'll basically delete the data, like delete the memory every time after her kid would like be on there, and that was like her way of putting guardrails up. So it's other ways, but me personally, I'm all in.
Okay, completely understand. Now we're gonna shift to more on the career side of things. For Black professionals who are worried about AI replacing their jobs, what human skills will become more valuable in the next 3 to 5 years? I'll ask that question first, and then I'll go into the next one.
Getting it, Chris. You getting it. Getting this down pat. You getting this down pat. You know who you dealing with. You like, look, hold up, let me get this. But no, as far as what should black marketers or like what skills,
Mhm.
you still gotta learn because these AI tools, they cool, but they're gonna keep learning too. But the thing is, they don't know how to think creatively. So when we talk about marketing sometimes can be you even when you go to school. Somebody goes to school for marketing, they're gonna get taught A, B, C, D. This is how it's supposed to go. If A happens, then you do B. If B happens, then you do C. The thing that you aren't taught is the experience aspect. And I think that's the thing that these AI tools, they're not really taught that real life experience. They're taught A, B, C, D. So it's like, okay, well, if D doesn't work, do I go back to B or do I go back to C? And sometimes it can give you the right point on what you might need to do, but it's not taught on, hey, how do I think creatively about getting this problem solved? You can try to prompt it to have it think creatively, but I think sometimes you still need that actual experience in making something happen. So I would really, if I was a marketer and a new marketer, I would use AI, but I would also try my best to get that real life experience and the answer without using AI. Because if you know the answer without AI, then it'll make it better when you actually go to AI and try to go back and forth. Like one for instance, I'm in this cohort and I'm like restructuring my business and doing all this type of stuff, right? And we were coming up with like, hey, these are some immediate actions you can do today to help with restructuring your business, like a tactic. And I went on AI and I'm like, okay, what should I do next? And it was telling me stuff that I've already done before. So it was telling me, okay, you did A, so do B, do C, do D. But I'm like, I've already done that. So how about I take A and then combine it with B and combine it with C? And I came up with my own formula and just asked it its input on that. So I think that creative thinking, that way to think outside the box, you're definitely gonna need that. You're definitely gonna need some type of soft skills. You know what I'm saying? People gonna get tired of like it sounds generic. So you're gonna have to be, if anything, you're gonna have to be more okay with being yourself. You got to be very like just authentically you and make that okay, because people are gonna get tired of like that whole generic feel. We already think everything's fake. Look at Sora. We're gonna start thinking everything fake. So it's like if you don't come at me authentic to who you are as a person,
Mhm.
then it's gonna have issues. So I think the skill that you're gonna need to know most is you're gonna have to start knowing yourself. Because if you don't know yourself, then you messed up. They're training tools on you. Like so I'm gonna be able to duplicate you unless you actually show up as you. So you gotta learn yourself.
Yeah. So all those, yeah, the human skills are important. Where like just face-to-face conversation sometimes will help, especially for professionals who thinking that AI will replace their as in the workforce. Just being able to give FaceTime to people, real FaceTime, not necessarily through email, etc. Networking skills are important, I believe, too. Outside of just learning the promptings and understanding how the platform work, you still need those regular skills too. Okay. I was looking to see if we had any questions in the chat. At any time, you can ask any questions for myself or either Jai as we go along. Next question as part of that. How should our audience pivot from their learning and development efforts to remain indispensable? So it's part two of that question. I know you answered some of it, but what other ways do you think that their learning should continue, and what should they be developing as far as AI coming and take our jobs, Skynet coming in down and taking over things?
So what should they learn about AI just in general?
in general, because this goes along with the human skills.
Right. I think in general, if I were them, I would get good at whatever you do, but get good at it doing AI. No offense, Chris, but like you said, you're a web developer. You develop websites, probably really dope websites. I think I checked out your stuff. You're doing some good stuff. However, as you know, coding is becoming a very at your fingertips skill. They have different AI tools now that are marketing. I can build you an AI website. We all know it's trash today, but it's just going to get better. So how can I use these different AI tools to really upscale my business? Like, I'm not saying you're going to do this, but maybe you're using one of these AI tools that build out websites, and you make the AI build it, and then I take what AI built, and then I use the code from ChatGPT and enhance it even better, and then I put my own secret sauce on it from my experience. So how can I, whatever I'm doing today, find ways on AI doing half of the work, and then me coming back and finishing off and doing the rest? Does that answer your question?
Yes, that answers my question. And I'll just, for myself, I use it. So I told you I use Cursor, which is an IDE similar to like Visual Studio, where I can code a website using Astra or WordPress and build those tools out. For me personally, I know HTML, CSS, JavaScript, etc. And like you say, most of the output that those AI tools place sometimes is just trash. So my skills that I'm learning outside of those, learning how to prompt, is the troubleshooting or debugging that these AI tools put out so that I can help my clients whenever they need help with things, depending on what's being built. So it's being able to communicate that, hey, yes, you can go use an AI tool to build a website, but there's still more that's indispensable with the website. So having those
So
foundational skills, you have to have those first before you can go into like using the actual AI tools to do these things. So as marketers, like on the digital marketing side, you still need to know SEO, because you can go in and chat GPT and say, hey, I need to optimize this website for SEO, but if it's not doing the keyword research or doing all the foundational skills that's needed, then you're setting some up for failure. Same with websites. When you're launching a website, people can build a website, but is it optimized for speed? Is it optimized for SEO? Is it optimized for all the crawlers, et cetera? So you still have to have those skills. So I would say that's adding or the next level to what you're using the AI tools for. So
let me ask you this. Do you feel like I have to have the skills, or do I have to have the knowledge? The difference. Do I have to have the knowledge to tell the tool, hey, make sure this website is optimized for the crawlers and all of that? Or do I need to have the skills for that?
I think you have to have both, to be perfectly honest, because you have to be able to recognize, you have to be able to prompt the AI for the information, but then you have to be able to have the knowledge to go back and check the AI to make sure it's correct. Because there's a lot of times that I can put in something and say, hey, I want to have this page rank, I think it's changed these days, for a certain keyword. And it'll give me a list of keywords and give me the content that's written for those keywords, but it didn't do the actual research to see what the volume of that keyword was. So you can take what it gives you, but if you don't know that, hey, I need to go back and see if people are actually searching for these terms, even though I gave it this term, then it's not, it's a moot point, because you're not going to get the results that you want in the beginning. But if you don't have the knowledge to say, hey, go back and check what's going on, then it's not going to work the way you need it to. And the same with
Right.
web development. You can launch a website, but then you have to be able to check the network to see what elements are loading quicker or faster or slower, or which where bottlenecks on your website. Because there's a lot of websites that's out there right now loading in 15, 16 seconds, and people are thinking it's okay because they have a faster internet connection to somebody that's walking down the street. So you have to be able to load those elements in place. But when you prompt, let's say a ChatGPT or any of those tools, it'll give you a website, but it doesn't give you the actual architecture or the structure that you need unless you really dive down and actually dig into them.
So
So
what about like, for instance, so I like where you're going here. So what about, like you just said, so if I have the knowledge on exactly what I'm looking for, that
mhm,
goes into you knowing how to prompt the tool. Do you
mhm,
feel like I can still prompt the tool and come out with something effective? Like I said, okay, I
mhm.
want to rank for digital marketing in Houston. I want you to let me know what's the volume of this ranking currently, and so on and so forth. And if it can give me all that information, can't like, so don't, wouldn't I just have to have the knowledge to know what I'm actually trying to do in order to get the right output in order to have the perfect website, the perfect SEO strategy, whatever the case might be. So do I really have to have the skills, or do I just have to have the knowledge on exactly what I'm looking for?
Okay, so that's just a portion of it. So you have the knowledge. So when you go beyond, let's say, the keyword research, what about backlinks? What about off-page SEO? So you got to have that knowledge to keep going, because someone can say, oh, you need to rank for this certain term, etc. But you can put that in and say, I want to rank for this term. But then you don't have the other components behind it. You can ask ChatGPT like the foundations, and it'll give you foundations, but then it's just a continuation of that knowledge that you would have.
Yeah, but if you train if I feel like if you train your model correctly and tell it to what am I missing? What do I need to follow up on? I want you to, as you probably know, think like Chris. That's a master website developer. What will be a list of things that I want to make sure I have? Or can I just call you and I can take your proposal and everything you just quoted me for saying you're gonna do? Can I just put that in ChatGPT and say, hey, I just got this proposal from Chris. These are all the tasks he said he's gonna do. I want you to help me come up with how to get this done. I'm not trying to debunk the business, but I'm just trying to show people, hey man, it's about to get interesting. So you're gonna have to really know. You're gonna have to be like Chris and just know what it is that you have to really know your stuff. But even knowing your stuff, it's like, where is it going to go from there? Because, yeah. But anyway, yeah, you can keep going. Now this is your interview.
So we do have
No.
one question. You see it? So you want to take that one?
Is it about the perfect? What is the perfection? No. I teach that a lot. People think they need a perfect prompt, but to be honest, sometimes it's about, like we were just talking about, having the knowledge on what it is that you're looking for. So, because sometimes you can have the perfect prompt, but then when it gives you the results, is there something else that you need beyond that response, or is that it? So it's not necessarily having a perfect prompt. It's about having time, for one, because some people want the perfect prompt just so they can get the answer and be done. And sometimes it's not like that. Sometimes you got to go back and forth with the model, back and forth with the model, back and forth with the model, until you figure out what it is that you want. And then also to combining with having that expertise or that knowledge on what it is that you're looking for, and understanding that these tools are just like, you got to think about it like a person that's on your team. They might give you something and it might be good today or it might be good for 2 weeks, but you might have to redo it. You might have to reiterate it. These tools are not God, for a lack of better words. They are not indispensable. They are not, this is the end all be all. So just be open to that. I hope that answers your question, Dean.
Yeah, for me, I always think about the end goal, and I use the tool to create prompts for me. So if it's something that I need to create, or if I'm trying to do, say, hey, put together a plan or a layout of the perfect prompts that will help me achieve this goal. That's how I go about it. So there isn't a perfect prompt. There's, like I said, going back and forth with the actual AI. And then you can ask it, do you understand? And then have it ask questions to you. And then you answer those questions for it to get to that goal. So reverse engineer. So that's how I go about it.
Yeah, man. I think you just got to be good. People think that you can just use AI, but you gonna have to know. I feel like you still gonna have to know your industry. You gonna have to know it, because if you don't know it and you just depend, like I get some freelancers that I get sometimes. I hire them and then I'll see them using ChatGPT to do some work because they don't know how to do it, but everybody dependent on ChatGPT to teach them how to do something. It's like, it can teach you, but I still believe you're going to do the old fashioned and really just learning your industry like the back of your hand. And really, that's the only way you're going to stay ahead. Even if you do know it like the back of your hand, you still have a threat. But it's just, man, what a time to be alive.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is. The sky's the limit at this point. So we're going to shift again. This is about authenticity with brands. A lot of brands are quick to use AI for trend spotting, but they also missed the mark when it comes to being authentic to the cultures that they're marketing to. How can we as Black marketers use our cultural cachet to supervise and refine AI efforts to ensure that it won't be copy and pasted and respectful and not performative?
You gotta be creative. That's it. You have to be creative. AI just gonna help your dreams come alive, and they're gonna help them come alive faster. But you still got to be the actual creative engine behind it. So if you rely on ChatGPT, whatever tool, AI tool, to produce the creative, or you give it too much free will, then it will take that and it will produce something that's inauthentic. But if you just use it to help speed up your process or to help your idea come to life faster, then that's the only way you'll stay authentic. But if you allow these AI tools to take too much of the creativity out of your hands, then that's how you miss the mark.
And that goes back to one of the earlier questions about the guardrails, because you're placing those guardrails in place for when you're actually creating. Because I know you want to speed up the process, but you can say, don't do this, don't do that. We don't want to see this. This is wrong when you're prompting. But again, it's learning to be more respectful in the cultural aspect of whoever you're marketing to. So that's how I look at it when it comes to that. Yeah, two more questions. So Dean said you have to have the back skills to tell what you wanted to have, the end of what you want or what you need to achieve. And then Isaiah has a question: what is a good way to train an AI model? Do we have a way to prompt?
What's a good way to train an AI model?
Mhm.
Use it. Use it. Just
Yeah.
use it. Use it. Nowadays, you can, like, again, my baby ChatGPT. I'm gonna start hitting them up because they really have to start paying me. That's what we can do as Black marketers. They need to get other Black people in order to be representation for their brands that really support them. But you just use it. In ChatGPT, you can go in your settings. And I tell people all the time, you can go personalize it. So you can put your name, tell it about you, tell it whatever characteristics you want it to have and how you want it to communicate back and forth with you. And I believe you can do that in your settings of other models. But the easiest way to train an AI model is actually use it if you're not a developer. If you're a developer, you can go on the back end and you can actually put in certain, like I said, you have a certain APIs you want to add to it that your business or your organization might use. So you can customize it and personalize it a lot more in a developer mode. But if you're not a developer, you're just an average person or a marketer or somebody that's just not tech savvy and you're using any of these tools, use the tool. The easiest way to train it is use a tool, because now they have these tools remembering, or their memory. They all have memory now. So the more that you're actually using it and the more information you're giving it, the more that you're naturally training it automatically. It's when you're not using it or when you come in try to use it every now and then is when it does not learn about you. Even the smallest things, like, you'll be surprised if you actually use these tools consistently. The smallest things you give it that you don't even notice, like different nuances that you might do, different questions that you might ask. Like, my tool know I like innovative and I'm gonna think outside the box. Like, you can ask ChatGPT or any tool, what, like,
Mhm.
based on the chats or based on the conversations we've had, what type of person do you think I am? And correct it. No, I actually like this instead of this. But just use the tool. Just use it.
Yeah. For me, again, I do program it with the back end, with the personalization. With ChatGPT, not so much, but with Gemini, with their Notebook LM, where I can go in and add PDFs and things of that nature. That's how I train it to know exactly what I'm working on, and like briefs from clients, etc. So if I have questions, I can literally go in and ask questions. You can do it with ChatGPT also. Create gems, which are the GBTs within ChatGPT. Then you also have MCPs that developers use, where it takes all the documentation from the APIs from the different companies and use those to ask questions, and it speeds up the process, uses less tokens when you're actually asking questions. So those are the ways that I do it to train the models when I'm working.
Put your plug in there. You have to be a developer.
Mhm.
The MCP is going to connect all of your dots. It's going to connect all your dots together, so all your information, it'll be able to talk to each one of them. For everything that he named, you have to be a developer in order to know how to do. You can ask ChatGPT how to do it, but even still today, you have to
Mhm.
be a developer in order to go on the back end and actually make it happen.
Yep, and that's where that knowledge comes into play.
Yeah, you gotta let them know. Let them know, Chris. They'll get on there trying to ask
Mhm.
ChatGPT. I connect my MCP. They don't even know. Hey, man, you don't have an MCP. You have not created that yet. So
Great.
yeah.
So we have another question or two more questions. You see that Walmart hiring freeze announcement got a skill up out there. Good luck. I didn't see it. Oh, this is good. Yeah, the CEO just announced that Walmart is they have a hiring freeze. I think what till 2026 or 2027, and they're moving more towards AI and automation. So Walmart is
I mean, yeah. And Sam's Club, I was just in California recently. They got them, but in Sam's Club, they got them out here. People think it's crazy. You go inside there, they got this little robot buggy, and it sweeps the floors, it mops the floors, and it scans. Like as it's going, it's scanning different products, updating in the back end how many products are left, what's the products there, and it moves slow. It got cameras all around it. I did a video on it. And people think it's a game. I seen it in Houston. I was in California about a month ago. They had one in California. So it is. It's one of those things where it's like, hey, man, hey. But, people shouldn't be scared. I was listening to a webinar, I believe, yesterday, and I could be wrong with these statistics. But essentially, he was saying, I think it's since, I believe it was like 1945. If you go back to 1945, 85% of the jobs that we're doing today are either done differently or they did not exist. So this is just a part of that structuring. I think some people naturally are going to lose their job, or that's not right. Well, it's life. That's how it happens. However, I think that we potentially are in an era where people will still. You'll just have to learn a new skill or learn how to use it. The only thing, like you probably know, Chris, is we're in an age where, and this is a thing that some tech people that be like, I listen to the good stuff about AI and the bad stuff. So I want to know everything. So the people that feel like, hey, man, we're going to this is going to be really detrimental, they have a point, because they say, while we're always advancing tech, one thing that we have not done is created different technology that can think and outthink a human. So that's the biggest difference. So they'll say, well, once we were driving horses, now we're driving cars. Yeah, but we still had to drive them. We create stuff now where it's like, yo, get out of here, I don't need you. So it's hard to say where we're going with things, but yeah, it's man. What time to be alive?
Isaiah has another question. We use AI agents with N8N. What are your thoughts? So it's I'm with it, but again, ChatGPT this week just announced theirs, and they don't want you to leave the platform anymore. They want you. They want you to schedule everything from ChatGPT. My thoughts are, if you have a product or you have a service, you have to learn these skills to actually use those agents or to build those agents to help your product grow. Because as we progress, less and less again is going to be used on Google or the traditional ways that we know. So, I would say that with those agents, to be able, I'm losing my thought, but with those agents, we should be able to build and progress with them, because I'm starting to implement them in my business myself. I'm tired of answering emails, so my agent is going to do that for me in the next couple weeks. So yeah, that's my thoughts on it.
You want to know something, Chris? I'm gonna mess the game up a little bit right here. We are so into talking about how we don't want AI to take our jobs, replace our stuff, and all that. But you noticed how not we, a lot of other people, or just in general, people are being sucked into more and more with AI doing more of what they're supposed to be doing. Not even even you just said, I don't want to do emails no more. I'm gonna let AI do it, or I'm gonna let this do it. So it's like, I mean, you kind of low key, if you really think about it, we're giving it, because it's like, I tell people we got to pick which one we want. Do you want AI to have its guardrails and not be able to do certain things, or do you want it to be able to come in and do majority of your stuff? Like we talk about with AI agents, I think with NAN, that's cool. It's a cool thing. My thoughts are just, it's another tool. Like Chris said, OpenAI just came out with their agentic kit or agent kit, something of that nature, where people will be able to essentially go in and you prompt it, and it'll walk you through how you're able to create an agentic agent to be able to implement or do some of the workflow, whatever you might create. So OpenAI just disrupted that for N8N, for Make, for even Zapier. I seen a video, somebody made a good point. They're like, Zapier at one point, that was their game, but as it grows, it's knocking Zapier and different things like that out. So I think use the agents if you want, but also think about from a consumer standpoint, how much control do you want to give OpenAI or ChatGPT, N8N, all these different platforms? Because one minute we were talking about AI, oh my God, it's going to take our jobs. So we just giving it more. And then we get mad when it doesn't do it right. Like somebody was like, man, like it was like a voice assistant. They're like, man, it sounds like a robot. I'm like, good. That means you're gonna still need somebody to sit there and talk on the phone and have some type of humanization to this. Why you gonna get mad because AI taking people's jobs, but you want the voice thing to sound like a real person? But I just tell and I train. But again, I listen to both sides, and we just live in an interesting world, and I'm just giving people like just thought provoking things. I don't feel no type of way about it, but I'm just letting people know this is the world we live in. So yeah, N8N is, it's cool. It might get disrupted by OpenAI. They coming out with all type of things. Oh, Chris, so I don't know if you got more questions, but these are the Ray-Ban, the Meta glasses. This might be something cool to talk about. These not the new ones that just came out recently. These are the ones that were out before that. So you could take pictures, you could do video, I could listen to music, do voice calls, the whole 9 yards on these glasses with Ray-Ban. The new ones just came out, if people don't know, where they now have the display. So like text messages will be able to pop up in your display, and you'll be able to see within the frames what's going on essentially on your cellular device. So it's really, it's interesting.
I haven't heard of those. Mine died, so I took them back. So I'm probably going to get the new ones. Mine like literally wouldn't charge. I had them for a month and they just stopped working. So
yeah, the battery life.
I love the new ones. Even like they're still working out the kinks with because you can do things with the band, so it understands your wrist movements. So I'm looking forward to those. So I may just skip this generation and grab a pair of those. They're a little bit bulky.
Tell people they're $800, please.
Okay. Yeah, they are $800. The ones you have on there are $300. Yeah. So
tell them, Chris, they're like 800. So let's not need the price. These is crazy, but look, another interesting fact. I don't know how long we got, but now I'm just talking.
Yeah, we got about 14 more minutes. We have one more question after. So you go ahead, and I'll ask this last question, and then if we'll see if that has any more questions. So
I was going to say, do you think these will really be revolutionary? See, I be talking about these, and like, I don't think they're going to be that revolutionary. Here's my take why. Because they're eyewear, you got to put them on. You probably naturally wear glasses. I don't. So even this morning when I was on the phone, my earphones died, and I'm like, oh, I don't feel like putting on my glasses, so whatever. So but I think about that with Mark Zuckerberg. To me, he's always too far ahead, because I'm like, to be honest, people got their style too. Some people don't like Ray-Ban. Some people like they Louis Vuitton, they Prada, they whatever type of glasses. So we got that going. The frames, the look. Some people don't like the look of these glasses. They might want the slimmer ones. You know what I'm saying? So it's all these different type of things. So I think about what's going to be the next tool or device that we have that's AI infused, that's going to be revolutionary. But I don't think it's going to be these glasses. I think they're going to be for people that are tech enthusiasts like us, but I don't think it's going to be adaptive to the world. Just side note, we're talking.
To go back to the discussion, how often do you use the AI? Do you have it identify things in front of you? I've tried that like 3 times.
Go dead too fast. Nope. I'm turning it off. It go dead too fast. And that's another, with these at least, the battery life. But even on the new ones, it said up to 8 hours. So up to means possibility. It doesn't mean it's going to last for 8 hours. So having that meta AI stuff going on in the background, the glasses go dead too fast for all of that. So I turned it off. I use AI when I want to, but I don't use it on a consistent basis on my glasses. No.
So yeah, you're not training the model. You have to work on training the model, because that's what he wants. He wants you to use it to train the model even more. But I completely.
Oh, great. That's good.
He's not going to pay you for it.
Nah, I ain't training your model. You got billions of dollars. You got the compute to train your own model. Don't you got a data center coming up in Louisiana? Well, I'm training your model.
Exactly. Okay, so we're gonna go to the last couple questions, or the last questions. It's for Black entrepreneurs and the freelance marketers that are listening. What is the biggest untapped opportunity right now to use agents? We kind of touched on it with some of the things that we discussed that makes them unique in the market, or when they're launching a completely new service offering. What gives them the edge to actually do these things?
Right now, I would say just learn a tool and be good at it. I think that was the one thing. Um, of course, I got marketing is still going to be like a backbone in our business, but the main source of our business is training and development. I don't even tell people it's a marketing agency anymore. I say, oh, we do a training and development. However, one thing that used to annoy me in marketing was like it was a pro and a con, but I'm not like an expert in no area of marketing. I'm an expert of all around marketing. So I know a lot about all different aspects of marketing, which pays off because most marketers don't. Most marketers are, oh, they know social media, they know email. I know a little bit about all of them, which is good. But what I'm really doing with AI is I'm mastering a tool. I'm not learning 30,000 tools for what. It just I'm mastering a tool. So you can go out and try to be like an AI expert in all tools, but I would say the biggest thing or the biggest service that you can probably get in is master somebody's tool and just go be a. I tell people I know everything you need to know about ChatGPT, and I know a lot about Microsoft Copilot. So when people want to know about those tools, you're gonna think about, oh, let me go to Josh. Josh always talking about ChatGPT. I don't so just master like a tool or master a market, master Google. Google has a lot going on, but it's for me, it's too much going on. They got a lot of tools. Google has a lot of tools. They doing a lot, especially with Google and creatives. Google has a whole creative lab that's just AI tools. FYI, Google it. Google Creative Lab or Google AI Creative Lab. It's a lot of AI tools just for creative. So Google is doing a lot. But I would say from a new service offering, figure out, hey, which one of these that I'm gonna master, or what service do I master? Like, hey, I do websites. Okay, which AI tool can help me become even more efficient with doing websites? How can I speed this up? How can I get better? That would be that. And then when it comes to agents, I think agents, to be honest, today, I think they're a bit overhyped, and most people are not using them as effective as they think. No, 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 trying to talk nobody out. I think it's just like, yo, it sounds cute, but are you really?
Yeah. Most of the examples that I've seen is using Gemini to like plan a trip. But like most people, we're not there yet. Where it's like, hey, I'm going to DC on this certain day. Find me a flight and a hotel room.
I think it could do that. It's
Old,
just like
old school.
it's just gonna take a while to train your mind to even think about that. You know how much I like even today I use ChatGPT a lot, I use AI a lot, but sometimes I be doing something, I be like, oh, I could have used it. Even myself, I just be thinking like, oh, I could use AI for this, but it's gonna take a minute to really train your mind. Oh, let me do this. And then agents sometimes they be inaccurate. Like you have to really train it. Like people be thinking, oh, I could just set up a little simple agent to do this and da 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 da. It's like you're not really using the full capabilities. You dabbling with it. But I think it's something you should play around with, but don't get so caught up in the hype. That's what I would think.
Mhm. Like for myself, I have a bunch of Google Homes, and I barely even touch the surface with them. I don't set timers or things like that. It's just mainly to play music in my house. And I'm in
I
we're
got
in tech, so I completely get it. We have to
yeah,
use the tools even more or go a layer deeper if we want to use
yeah, like how you can use it. I think Diana, she said, so I pivot between Gamma. Gamma, I started liking Gamma, but I feel like it still ain't like Gamma is a presentation. So you put in a prompt, or you can put in some of the presentations that you already created, and it'll make a better presentation for some people. I still think my presentations be better, but I think I'm not prompting it all the way right because it'd be
it.
too text heavy sometimes. Then if I say take away some of the text, it's too plain. I still haven't got the real rhythm with Gamma, but Gamma is a good tool. Mid Journey, I think all the tools you just named, they're all for different use cases. So you bouncing, but you bouncing between different features. Like Mid Journey, kind of similar to like you can create images like ChatGPT, but it's just maybe better because it's created just for that. So everything you use it for something different
Mhm.
for the most part.
So yeah, we have about 7 minutes left. Any more questions in the chat before we conclude this? I don't think we have any. But I do want to thank you for your time. This was a great discussion. Even though I haven't met you in person yet, I am in Houston, so we should hang out or talk more about this.
We
Because
should, man, because my website, like I said, is running too slow. I was telling my web developer, hey, man, it's running too slow. And they were like, no, I think you need to do something. And I said, no, I don't, that's not. So, yeah, we need to talk about my website.
yeah,
You want to talk about anything?
yeah, we can reconnect offline. But for AAMA, we do have a couple events coming up. We just had our community and culture coffee chat on October 4th. So every first Saturday of the month, we do meet. Up next is on the 29th. Oh, wait, there's more. Give me one sec. Got to make sure I get it right because Isaiah's going to get me if I don't get it right. So we do have the Hustle is Real, Black Entrepreneur and Marketing on October 17th. And that's at 2 o'clock or 2:30. And you can check AAMA.com/events, .org/events for that. And then we also have the connection for the culture coming up on Wednesday, October 29th from 7 to 10 p.m. at Live Houston. Again, all the events are on the website if you want to see those. And I think that concludes this tonight or today. We also have a happy hour at Avant Garden at 6:30 p.m. This Friday. So look forward to seeing you guys there. And thanks again for your time.